Welcome to RGB, your weekly podcast where we discuss lots of cool tech, new gadgets, product reviews, new apps, and great workflows. This is episode number 15. My name is Alexandre Valliere-Lagacé, and I'm joined by my co-host, Tyler Menard. This week we discuss Lightning headphone ports, unencrypted kernels, and a cool mobile plan for Canadians. Following last week's WWDC announcement with the new photo feature that is now scanning your library and associating keywords to the different pictures you have, we learned a little bit more from somebody called, let me just get his name.
K-Yin,
yeah, who I'm guessing is some kind of developer or super smart hacker. Yeah, I think he basically reverse engineered some of the iOS features in order to understand how photo is associating keywords to the photo themselves. So he was able to discover there was some kind of a emotion detection on faces that include greedy, disgust, neutral, scream, smiling, surprised, and suspicious, as well as a lot of categories for the memories generation from the photo apps in iOS 10. Just basically, you've got person's birthday, recent events, regions of interest, social groups, stuff like that. But the most impressive one is the different scenes and objects that photo can detect. He lists. I'm not sure he listed them all, but he discovered that there's 4,432 different scenes and objects that photo can identify. So that's why last week I was trying to find like a swimming pool, and I wasn't receiving any results, but pool did get some result. So there's a specific list of words, at least for the moment, that is being used for categorizing the different pictures. There is still 4,000, so it's still not small, but it's interesting to see how Apple decided to attack this feature.
I don't know how he got this information though.
It's probably some data lookup in some system files or reverse engineering some data exchange probably.
Because it's a lot of words.
Yeah, or it's just following our future topic, which we can probably cover right now, that Apple did not encrypt the kernel of the current iOS beta. So this is something that is not usual for Apple. All of their iOS release, beta or not, I've always had a encrypted kernel, and this time it's not the case. Some say it's because Apple wants to expose a bit more of its kernel so that the security researchers can help and patch some security holes. Others are saying that this is just like a mistake on their part. Some security guy said that it's like if you were planning to install an elevator, but you forgot to install the doors.
Yeah, I read that too.
you can't. He says that you cannot forget about this. It's like probably part of your build plan, your build actions. So it's not like we forgot to do this little check mark in the to-do list. So this is normally pretty standard and pretty hard to miss.
Do you think it could be something about the FBI case? Leaving it open so somebody can know?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure exactly of the implications of leaving this open.
Basically, in the past, they were mostly trying to scan memory dumps and basically try to find holes in all the different Unix command that runs on your iPhone. And this time, if the kernel is unencrypted, they can actually probe and poke a little bit more in some different ways, which usually is much easier to find some security holes or misbehavior or predictable behavior, which you can then force code at certain address and then execute your malicious code. So it's pretty important. If it's something that's planned, that will mean that the following releases of the next betas will also be unencrypted. If, for example, they're all encrypted, then it's probably more of the error type. So this was not supposed to happen. We'll have to see in the coming months, but hopefully, I don't think so. I don't think it's really linked to the FBI. It's probably just an error or a change of mind.
But doesn't it make it easier for people to get their hands in the code and look how to like jailbreak the phone or whatever?
Yes, but at the same time, it also makes it easier for security researchers and other WizKid who contact Apple with security holes to find them and then
Patch them.
Patch them, yeah. So it's like a double-edged sword.
I'm pretty sure this is deliberate though, because they would have released another beta if it was really a mistake. I think no.
That would not fix anything. Whoever still has the IPSW on his hard drive could be able to share it again with other friends, and so it's too late for the beta 1. Maybe Apple is sneaky, and this beta 1 will change drastically in the coming betas, and even if there's some security holes, they will not be important in the coming months. Maybe that's also something they're planning.
Only time will tell.
Yes, the famous time tells us everything. Then we saw something, was that Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. About the headphone jack for the new iPhone 7. Nilay Patel from The Verge wrote an article, a pretty harsh article with some super interesting quotes like "winter is coming, have some dignity," and stuff like that. So basically, he's pissed. He doesn't want Apple to replace the headphone port with a Lightning port only for headphones. I did not read the whole thing, but he doesn't like dongles. He doesn't like adapters.
What happened? Why is this coming back up then? Wasn't this making the rounds a couple of months ago?
Yes, but I think more and more device or parts of device are coming up from the rumor mill. So it's getting like more and more to the realm of reality instead of just rumors. So maybe that's why I saw something go by on Mac Rumors earlier this week about this also. So probably that's what triggers it. I think the Japanese blog Makotakara had something about a new design for the case itself, and they did even a rendering of it, and there's no 3.5 millimeter jack. So it's been rumored a lot, and it's coming back again. Now we're in June, so usually around June, that's when the DVT device, the design verification test units, are being produced, like the one that was forgotten in the bar. So basically, it's the final design of the device to be used in real life, real world condition to see if there's no apparent design flaw. So if this device was requested by Apple to his manufacturer, that may be the source of the leak. So it's getting closer and closer to a reality for me. So maybe that's why Nilay Patel wanted to write this article.
Also, John Gruber of Daring Fireball wrote a response. He's basically refuting everything, and he says the headline is "The headphone jacks are the new floppy drives," and he's making comparisons to when Apple ditched the floppy drive on the original iMac. I think in 98 or something, before everybody, and everybody was mad for the same reasons that people are mad for the headphone jack now.
Yeah, people will always be mad when you remove something, but sometimes you really have to make a strong decision. Do you go forward or you go backwards? Or else you'll have a brand new computer in 2016 with a VGA port, which makes no sense. But one day you have to choose, and Apple chose right with the ditching of the diskettes, the floppy drive. Sorry, that was okay. That was hard for some because how can you save your data? How can you exchange data? USB keys were not there, so yes, Apple was maybe a bit early, but it was still the good decision to make, and it had to be made at one time. So I'm thinking that the Lightning port is the same thing. Of course, if you have a brand new pair of headphones and you want to plug them in and you can't, then either you get some extra dongle or you change your pair for something that's Bluetooth. So it's cumbersome, but in 2 years we will not even think about it anymore.
I don't think this is coming on the iPhone 7. I don't know. I just think it's too soon.
Yeah, I think you're right. It feels more like a 7S kind of feature. Like Touch ID came on with the 5S, and this kind of refinement, albeit very important, but still, I consider this like a refinement of something. So that would mostly be like a 7S feature for me.
And they're also saying that the 7 is going to be pretty much the same thing as the 6 and 6S, and the big design change is coming in the next generation in 2017. So it just makes more sense to remove the headphone jack and the release of that phone.
So the 7S would not be like a same design as the 7, but a totally new design.
Right.
Maybe skip the S and get to 8 right away.
Right. Basically Intel just dropped the TikTok thing. So Apple is following Intel and is going to drop it too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Why not? Dropbox added a new feature this week on its latest iOS app that sadly I still cannot install on my iOS beta 1. So listen to me, guys. If you want to update your apps, if you don't want some problems like that, do not get the iOS beta yet. I do not recommend it. So basically, Dropbox added a document scanning feature. So instead of using what's the call? Like, is it PDF Pen or
ScanBot, Scan
yes.
Pro, Scan Anything?
Yes.
There's a bunch of apps.
Yeah, there's a good Canva episode. So we'll put it in the show notes on how to scan documents on iOS, and they go over 4 or 5 great apps for that. So if that's a requirement you have, instead of going by some app like that, you can do it directly in Dropbox. It's a nice feature to be able to adapt to scan your documents and realign them, change the contrast. But if you are a Dropbox business user, then you are lucky because you do have OCR text recognition. Basically, documents written in English and documents that are typed are supported. Those that are not supported is other than PDF files and other language than English. So basically, you do get some OCR, so you can search for text in Dropbox, and those documents with the search text will pop up. But you have to be a paying customer of Dropbox to get this feature. So it looks that for now they scan, they store, and they allow you to search. So maybe in the future there'll be something else, but for now, at least you can do the whole thing. To be able to find your documents whenever you want, wherever you want.
Okay, I think it's reserved for business users, though. I don't know if there's a difference for just plain paid users.
Yeah, because right now you don't have like plain user. It's either if you're a paying user, I think you're a business user.
No, you can be a pro user. Yeah, there's basic, which is free, pro, it's a terabyte, business, and enterprise. Yeah, if you look at the business, you have support, which is good for businesses, and advanced collaboration tools, powerful administrative tools.
Nice. Yeah, I still have quite a few gigabytes on my Dropbox because of various promotion that I use over the years. So I think I have like 30 something gigs. So I've never really considered paying for Dropbox, especially with the referrals and everything. So, but I still did get a notice that one of my Samsung promotion is expiring this year. So I had to do some bit of cleanup, but I'm still going to be able to keep everything under 24 gigs.
Okay, yeah, the business plan is unlimited.
Okay, so that's what you get for being a business customer.
As much space as you need. It's a nice feature for $17 a month.
Oh, not bad. If you share lots of documents, could be pretty useful. Yeah. So about sharing, there's a new. Well, they identify themselves as a startup, but they haven't started anything yet. So I'm not sure it's a startup yet.
It's a Kickstarter startup,
Yeah. Well,
kind of.
it's an idea. So basically, Ruje Ramadan, who is the founder of Chill Telecom, will be a new MVNO company, which is
What does MVNO?
it's a cell phone carrier that is piggybacking on one other network. So in this specific case, he said on their Facebook page that they will use the TELUS network in Canada to offer services in specific high density region, mostly province capitals and a few other cities across the country, with a special price. Instead of paying something like $75 to $85 per month for an iPhone plan with data, he is offering unlimited data and voice for $35. So it's less than half and it's unlimited. Also, there's a second plan for $45, which will be the same thing as the first one, including roaming, unlimited also. So this seems way too good to be real.
To be true, yeah.
Yeah, so people are like not really sure this is something that will happen, especially that whenever you have some MVNO discussion with a business partner like one of the three majors carrier, so Bell, Rogers, or TELUS, whatever you choose in terms of partner and whatever you discuss, it's always confidential. So if he really had something in place with TELUS, he should not be able to tell us. So
He also says that he has 200,000 registrations.
yeah, well, it's actually, I think it's the mailing list. So he was expecting maybe 5,000 at most, but he realized that he quickly got into the 200,000 registration. And he also has quite a few backers, because what he offered on his website, he offered a contest to win devices if you were backing it for $5, $10, or $15. And he thought this could maybe give them a few $1,000, but in the end, he had 12,000 people who actually sent him money. So that basically means he received $180,000 from people right now. So, well, if you remove Stripe's fees, it's $170,000. But still, it's a lot of money for something that is not even started yet. He has a few employees. He also is looking for a UX designer. He will also add the French section. So basically, it's a good idea. It's something that is in theory possible, but at this price point, I'm not sure that TELUS will rent its network for less than $35 per month, because he has to make some profit. So let's say that he makes only $5 per user. Can he really get $30 a month for unlimited data? I'm not sure that's possible. So unless he has some way of optimizing his company so that he really get this lean, I'm not sure it's possible.
The website almost looks fake.
Yeah, well, it's a Squarespace website that has been customized, but not well.
But I think they're currently changing, because some pages are nice and like new-ish, and then you have these awful old pages.
Yeah.
With no font. It looks like the internet in like 1998. With a bunch of pictures overlaid with forms and everything. You don't see nothing.
Yeah, it still is all on Squarespace, but you're right. There's different design for different pages, so it's pretty weird. But still, I'm hopeful that this is something that's gonna happen. So let's keep our fingers crossed, and if it really works, then I will probably be switching. Because right now I'm lucky. I still have a corporate plan, and I'm paying with taxes $62 per month. If I could get more than that for $42 per month, I would switch right away. because the network would be the same or very similar, but I would not have to watch my consumption. I could do Netflix on the bus. So let's hope for the best.
I'm just nervous about the coverage. It's the only thing that looks kind of small.
Yeah, is that the coverage, or it's the coverage for people who wants to create an account? Because I'm thinking that if you are on the TELUS network and you are in this zone where you can see on his coverage map, then yes, you can get an account. But if you're outside, you're still on the same network. So it's more like an availability region. That's not very clear. So,
because I'm looking at it now, and there's a couple of places that I frequently visit that's outside of the area of coverage. So it's really reserved to metropolitan areas.
So maybe it's something like a few years ago we had this with Fido. We had like a replacement for your home phone that was only available like in major cities, but the coverage was like very, very, very small. Maybe that's like that.
Maybe that's why he's able to offer the TELUS network, but so cheap, because he's restricted to these small metro areas.
Maybe.
As soon as you go out, it doesn't work. But I don't know how that... Oh, anyways, I don't know anything about telecom.
Yeah, me neither. I just know it's too expensive. So
yeah, I see the bill every month. That's what I know.
Yeah, and we only have 6 gigs, so... So, talking about money, our favorite rich guy who owns Tesla recently did some little acquisition. Tesla actually bought his other company, which is SolarCity. A few years ago, when Elon Musk got his money from his PayPal shares that he sold to eBay, he had 3 plans in his head. He wanted to make an electric car, he wanted to make solar panels, and he wanted to go in space. So what he did, he basically created Tesla, SolarCity, and SpaceX. So
having money is fun.
Yeah, yes. Well, there's a big backstory about that, meaning that when Tesla started it, he did have money to start a company, but it was not going as well as he was expecting. So he was actually taking all the money he was making from SolarCity and putting it back into Tesla. So without SolarCity, Tesla wouldn't be there today. So it's a big kind of like circle, and he even like sold all his assets. He went back to live at his parents' house at one point. So there's a big story about that. So basically, SolarCity manufactures. I'm not sure if they're manufacturing really in the US or if they're just like importing big quantities, but basically they are a planning and installation company of solar panels for commercial and residentials. So that's what they do. They do it well. They are profitable. They make good money. And Tesla acquired them for $2.8 billion. Both CEOs said that they were not involved in the deal because both CEOs are actually sitting on the board of each other's company. Yeah, it's all the same thing for me because it's all Elon Musk and it's all his companies.
It's just shuffling money around.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, what does this do? What does this give Tesla? I don't know if you remember a few months ago, Tesla announced the Powerwall, which is a big walled battery that can accumulate energy whenever you have, for example, sun and your solar panels. So this acquisition would enable you to purchase this big battery and also solar panels for your roof. The whole thing will be installed for you, and then you can be totally dependent of the utility company for electricity. So I'm thinking that's a good way to put it. I'm not really seeing any solar panels on the future Model 3. So it's probably just for the home, but still, maybe for themselves too, meaning that this big mega factory will need eventually solar panels. So they have the company to manufacture and install them. So it's a good thing for Tesla. It's a good thing for the consumers if you want to buy a Powerwall. So other than that, do you see any reason for that acquisition?
So you can power your Tesla. That's the only reason I see. So you can use the sun to charge your batteries in your car.
Yes, for that. There's also true. It's also the superchargers. Most of them are linked to the local electricity company, but if they all have, because I know some of them have solar panels, I'm not sure it's exclusively solar panels. Maybe it's just.
I'm sure they have a mix of stuff.
Yeah. So, but maybe with this solution, maybe Solar City is planning some new solar panels that are super powerful that can transfer more energy from the sun, and Elon Musk could equip each and every corner of the world with a supercharger, and they will all be solar powered. That would be ideal. That's about it. I think I don't see any other reasons. The manufacturer roof, the home, and then the superchargers.
The what roof? Manufacturer roof?
Well, that big super gigafactory.
Oh, the plant, the gigafactory. Okay.
Yeah, that they're doing in Nevada.
Right.
Is it Nevada? Well, there. So,
somewhere.
Yeah. So it has some super huge roof, and if you put solar panels on that, then you can probably power the plant for, if not all day, maybe like half the day or something like that.
It's still sold for 2.8 Instagrams.
Still, it's
bad.
2.8 more Instagrams I can afford.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, for me, it's just, like you said, shuffling money, and it's all under Elon Musk's vision anyway. So some people are saying that this could affect Tesla because it's an expensive purchase. I'm not afraid. The number of Model 3 that are reserved will probably cover that very easily in the first few months. And every time that Elon Musk talks about the Gigafactory and the forecast of when the Model 3 will be ready, it's always either on time or in advance. So basically everything looks good for him. So,
and then I think that's it for the news.
Yes, that's it for this news. Yes, we covered everything. So this week we do have a social app of the week.
Our favorite corner.
Exactly. So this time it's not a new social network. It's an existing social network with a new app. So it's a little bit different.
It's like half. It's half new app, half new social network.
Yeah. It's the Twitter app for celebrities. So basically it's called Engage, and it's some app that is easier to maintain when you have a large following. And yeah.
It's only the tweet. You don't have a timeline. You can only see mentions from verified users if you want. You can sort by verified users, so only your famous friends can talk to you.
Okay, so it's like a famous network just for famous people.
Yeah, kind of. It's really there's a bunch of stats, and it's really depressing when you don't have a big following. So
yeah,
this is live. So since 10 p.m. in the last 15 minutes, I've had 0 likes, 0 retweets, 0 mentions,
wow,
and 0 impressions.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't installed it yet, so I cannot talk about it too much. But looking at the screenshot, like you say, if you don't have like a very diverse and engaged following, it will be pretty awful. So there's no timeline. So basically, it's just whatever you tweet, you can track.
It's like a dashboard for what's happening on Twitter right now, and that's it.
Wow.
And publishing new videos or whatever, and then you can see the reactions to the tweet you just did and stuff like that.
Okay, that's something special.
Yeah, it's to engage with your fans.
Yeah, I'll keep Tweetbot. It's more my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So that's the only social app we have for this week. For the review corner, I did some review today. It will be a first, I think, that I review something on the blog before I present it on the podcast. So it will do something different this time. So basically, instead of being a pair of audio or a special keyboard that makes some noise, it's a software that is called Leveler from Auphonic. It's a software that allows you to level different audio tracks. Even if you only have a single MP3 with a single track with different people talking, it's going to level the everybody to the same level. It's going to detect music and treat it differently than voice. It can also remove that electrical hum you can hear in some tracks, depending on the equipment. It can also remove some clicks, some little artifacts like that. And all this can be done on your computer from a Windows or Mac application. Or they also have a web service that does the exact same thing. And a third solution is another app that's called Multitrack. So it's the same thing as the Leveler, but if you have multiple tracks, it can work on each of them individually and then do the mix down to give you a single mixed and all fixed perfect track. So basically, how does it work? You drag and drop your MP3, your WAV, your AIFF file in the app. You hit process, and it does its magic. There's a few options you can do. You can set the target loudness in LUFS, LUFS. So it's a standard for how loud the file is. It can go from -13, which is very loud, to -31, which is very quiet. Basically, for podcasting, we're aiming at -16. There's 3 options you can enable: the leveling, the high-pass filter, and the noise and hum reduction. That is that electrical hum I was just talking about. So like I said, basically just drag and drop, run, and it's done. If you use their web service, though, there's a lot more options that you can do. You basically upload the file. You can also add an intro and outro. You can also add all the metadata to your MP3. Title, artist, album, cover image, all the extended stuff too. And you can even choose the output format, the bitrate, the file name. You can also split by chapters. You can add the chapter markers directly in there. And if you use one of the major services like Dropbox, SoundCloud, Libsyn, archive.org, you can even set it up so that when it's done, it auto-uploads the file for you over there. So basically, if you just start with podcasting and you don't have any knowledge or you don't have much tools already purchased, if you use this service online, you can do almost everything in one shot. So you just have to fix your auto tracks in GarageBand, for example, or Logic if you have a little bit more money. And then you just fill the form, upload the file, save it as a preset also. If you don't want to re-enter everything every time, you can just save your preset and it launches the worker. And once it's ready, it processes your file and sends you an email when it's done. So it's very fast. For short files, it really goes in like a few seconds and it's done. For longer files, it's a bit longer, but it's very reliable and it works very well. I have a few examples on the review article if you want to listen to. I took an older podcast episode we had where Tyler was not at the same level as me. And the second example is I recorded myself playing with the input volume, so at 25%, 50%, and 75%. So you can hear the difference of one single track with 4 different levels. And the result, of course, after levelers, magic has been applied. You can see where you can see all the tracks, all the different voices are equal. And for the first example, even the music is in there. So we use that. I think we started on episode 11 or 10.
I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, but basically it makes a lot of difference, especially if you have different hosts with different microphones, setup, and softwares also. We try to keep the same setup. We have the same computer, the same software, the same mic almost. So basically it's not too different. Maybe just the levels, because maybe I'm standing closer to the mic like that or further like this. But the rest is just easier to manage. But if you, for example, have something that has like 3, 4, or 5 different hosts, and they all have different mics and setup, well, this can come to be very handy to make your final edits, and then have something that is a lot more easier on your ears. Yeah, so basically, take a look. It's a cool app. The app itself is about $89, and the web service is payable by the hour. So basically, you get 2 hours for free each month, and then it's between 89 cents and $1.22 per hour after that. You can buy plans, so it's pretty flexible.
We have a live update. Apple just released a statement about the kernel not being encrypted.
Okay.
So the official wording is, the kernel cache doesn't contain any user info, and by unencrypting it, we are able to optimize the operating system's performance without compromising security.
Oh, okay. That is interesting.
So that's the official statement. Whatever it means.
Yeah. So this part, okay. Yes, but the kernel can still be hacked to gain root access and then install a jailbreak.
And then get the user data.
Okay. So unless they maybe added some more security level in between, so even if you compromise a kernel, you still can get to some other parts of the system?
I'm not sure how this all works.
Yeah, me neither. We should get GeoHot on the call and see.
He's still a thing?
He's still a thing. He's not into jailbreak anymore. He's actually writing software and making self-driving cars by himself in his garage. So there was a cover story on him a few months ago. So instead of actually like coding how the driving works, he actually wrote the software so that the car can learn. So basically, you start the software in your car, and then you go for drives for a few hours of driving, like highway, city driving and everything. You do your stops and everything, and the car will actually learn from how you drive, and it will mimic driving afterwards. So basically, it's going to drive itself. There's kind of like a joystick, like for those old computer airplane games, and you can drive the car like that, and then the car can drive itself after, I think it's 2 or 3 hours of driving. So yeah, it was fun to see him still being active in something that is highly technical and highly advanced.
I think that's it for this week.
Yep, we covered all the news we had. Maybe, do you want to talk about your experience with iOS 10 for a week now that we've had it? If you had it,
it was a bad idea. I think we should have waited a couple of betas.
Yeah, I feel the same. I've always regretted the first 2 betas, but never enough that the next time I would not like try it. This time, I can tell you that it's a lot more painful.
The overall phone is just slower.
Yeah, it's not just that. For me, it's the problems that it constantly freezes, and just the App Store. I'm kind of like a
update freak.
Yeah, well, not just update, but I don't like to have little numbers in red on my app icons.
You're a neat freak.
Yeah, neat freak. So having 38, it's pretty bad for me. Let me do a live update right now and see how much I have now. Open the store, updates. Yeah, 38 still. Yeah, that is way too many.
I only have 5.
Yeah, does the watch crash on you often? Yeah,
yeah. I see the Apple logo once in a while.
Yeah, same
when I'm trying to look at the time.
Yeah,
but the new features are cool.
Yeah, it's still worth it for developer if you know what you're getting into. It's fun to see what they did with the watchOS 3. This is for a first beta. If it was not crashing, the rest would be perfect for me. All the apps work fine. The complications are up to date. I've not missed a single meeting this week. Yay! Yeah. It's mostly the phone, I would say. having the apps not being updated is a pain, and there's also a bunch of apps that are not working, but that's to be expected, but sad, like workflow, for example. I've got a few workflows for uploading images when I write posts, and they're broken, so I had to do them on my computer like an animal.
I hope this is going to encourage everybody to rewrite their watch apps.
Well, from what I heard a bunch of Mac Stories interviews that John Voorhees did during WWDC, and all of them were like very happy with WatchOS 3, and those who had a WatchOS app, even those with the first WatchKit 1 version, they were all considering seriously to work on a new version that is native and can take
full advantage of the features that's included in WatchOS 3.
Yeah, exactly. So that's good for us. That's good for developers. Because before that, you just don't want to talk about it. Yeah. So, yeah, we do have problems with the beta. That's to be expected. But overall, for the amount of changes, especially in WatchOS is fairly stable. iOS still has a few issues. On my iPad, I haven't used it enough to really get into problems, but for me, I'm still very hopeful, especially with the number of problems I have, which are not too many, but just very repetitive, and like I get them like mostly a few times a day. So hopefully beta 2 will be much better, and maybe by beta 3 it will be stable enough that anybody can install it, and maybe there's going to be a public beta right there. So,
and hopefully we're going to get a beta 2 next week. Usually they're on a 2-week cycle or 3-week cycle.
Yeah, you see me every Tuesday morning hitting refresh.
Okay, I think that's it for this week.
Yep, that's it for this week. So if you want to find the show notes, you have them in your podcasting app of choice. If not, you can find them on hipsterpixel.co/RGB/15. You can follow us on Twitter at RGB Podcast. I'm Valliere, VALLIERES.
And I'm Tyler Menard, TYLERMENARD.
Send us some feedback. Give us a rating on iTunes. 5 stars. It's always appreciated. So that's it for this week, and see you next week.
See you next week.